When this film finally got announced, I was very excited because of how great of a director Bong Joon-ho is, and it's been a solid minute since his last film, which was Parasite, which came out in 2019 and won Best Picture in 2020. However, I've barely seen his movies, so I decided to watch Memories of Murder, Mother, and yes, even Parasite, all of which are great films. And after watching Mickey 17, I've had to think about it for a while, and yet I'm still very mixed on the film. The film is about Mickey, who leaves Earth and becomes an expendable, a person who is sent out on suicide missions whether to catch a disease and study his blood to create a vaccine, or explore a planet with unknown inhabitants. However, he survives one of these suicide missions and is assumed dead, which leads to another one of him being cloned. So now there's two Mickeys running around, which is illegal.
This is illegal, you know.
I'll start with the positives. The visuals look incredible. It's a breath of fresh air for a film with a huge budget to actually have good CGI and overall good visuals, unlike Captain America 4, which just looked very bland and had bad CGI.
Who owns it? You do.
All the creatures looked really good and didn't clash with the actors. There wasn't any points where the green screen was noticeable. The overall cinematography is great, which shouldn't be a surprise coming from Bong Joon-ho. The film is very funny with tons of dark humor. The many ways in which Mickey dies or is mistreated plays a huge part in the humor very well. All the actors do a very solid job, for the most part. Stephen Yeun is great for the short while he's in it. Naomi Ackie is pretty good in the film, although I wish her character was a lot more explored in the first act and even the second act. Robert Pattinson is a huge standout in this film. He puts on another voice for this performance and it works really well. It goes to show how much of a chameleon Pattinson is as an actor. Not one performance from him is the same, aside from maybe his early work. He plays two characters in this film, and although the characters are similar, they are also different in many ways. The film plays around with the idea of two Mickeys in some fun and creative ways that at times remind me of films like Enemy. The social commentary at times was very interesting and thought-provoking. The film balances different tones really well. I really liked Mickey's arc throughout the film. He at first had very little self-worth or anything to aspire towards, considering he just exists to die over and over again, and as the film progresses, starts to view himself as an individual with hopes and dreams. Now on to the negatives. The biggest problem with this film is Mark Ruffalo's character, Kenneth Marshall. His whole character is a generic Trump allegory that we've seen 100 times over. It's very derivative, unoriginal, and adds nothing new to the discussion of Trump or his policies or really anything. He plays a huge part in the plot towards the end of Act 2, and onward I just found him to be very insufferable. He completely dragged the plot down and tanked my enjoyment. It's weird because the film was pretty thought-provoking at times, and then there's Mark Ruffalo's character who is painfully unsubtle and just repeats the same shit we've seen before. I felt like I was watching an Adam McKay film. I wish the film explored the relationship between Gnasher and Mickey a lot more. I think the other Mickey should have been given more time to flesh out his character. His motivations and actions were very sudden, especially in the third act, and I didn't feel those moments were earned. There's also too much voiceover exposition and flashbacks in the first act to explain the world building. The film is very messy in terms of how it wants to explore its ideas. The movie constantly hops from interesting idea to interesting idea without exploring them, and it makes some of them just feel very undercooked. The pacing is a little wonky and makes the third act feel rushed. Overall, I'm very mixed on my enjoyment of the film. The film is far from bad, and I'd say it's even probably a decent movie, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that I was a little disappointed. Maybe my expectations were unrealistic considering how different this film is compared to the rest of his filmography. For now, I'm just gonna give this a 6 out of 10. It could change, but I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching.